Hey everybody, welcome back for another deep dive with me. Today we're going to be looking at something kind of different. It's just one sentence, but it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, short, but definitely thought-provoking.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So we're going to try to really unpack this one sentence and see what we can get out of it.
sounds good to me.
So, as always, I've got an expert with me here today to help me kind of break down some of these concepts.
Happy to be here.
So before we dive in, just as a reminder to our listeners, this is one of those deep dives where we're looking at one specific piece of source material. So think of this as like a really focused exploration.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going deep on this one.
All right, so are you ready to hear the sentence?
Let's hear it.
All right, so here it is. God has promised that he will never fail. I follow him because his faithfulness is forevermore. So what are your initial thoughts?
Well, first of all, wow, that's a powerful statement. Like you said, it's short, but it's packed with a lot of conviction, I guess you can say.
I know, right? Like it's just radiating this sense of certainty.
It really is. Like God has promised that he will never fail. That's a pretty bold statement right there. It makes you wonder, what kind of person wrote this? What experiences led them to this belief?
Yeah, that's a good point. We don't know anything about the context, but we can definitely feel the weight of their belief.
Absolutely.
And for me, the part that really stands out is I follow him. It's not just about believing in God. It's about actively following him. And that decision is based on this idea of God's faithfulness. But what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like what is faithfulness in this context?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the idea of faithfulness can have different meanings depending on your perspective. In some Christian traditions, for example, God's faithfulness might be seen in his commitment to his people, his promises, his interventions in history, those sorts of things.
Likely.
But in a more like philosophical or spiritual sense, faithfulness might be more about like a feeling of unwavering support, even when things are difficult, like that sense that you're not alone, even when you're going through tough times.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So for the person who wrote this statement, maybe faithfulness meant like seeing God's hand in their life even when things were hard. Like it gave them the strength to keep going.
Exactly. And that ties into something that I think we all crave as humans, that feeling of stability, of having something solid to hold on to in a world that can feel pretty unpredictable. And this idea of unwavering faith, it offers a sort of anchor.
I get that. It's like knowing that no matter what happens, you've got something to fall back on.
Right.
But it also makes me wonder, uh, could this kind of unwavering belief ever be a bad thing? Like, what if it leads to blind trust or ignoring red flags? You know what I mean?
That's a really interesting question. I think it gets at the complexity of faith. Because on the one hand, having that absolute belief can be incredibly powerful. It can give you resilience, help you overcome challenges.
Right.
But you're right, there is a potential downside. If we never question anything, if we never allow for doubt, we might miss important information or make decisions that aren't in our best interest.
Yeah. So it's like anything else, I guess. It's about finding that balance, holding on to your beliefs, but also being open to new information and being willing to adapt.
I think that's a great way to put it.
So even though we don't know anything about the person who wrote this statement or their situation, I think that's still really thought-provoking.
Oh, definitely. It raises a lot of questions about faith perseverance and what it means to truly believe in something.
And it's amazing how much we've been able to unpack from just one sentence.
That's the beauty of these deep dives. We start with something small, like a seed of an idea, and it grows into something much bigger.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So as you go about your day, think about what resonated with you from this statement. What are your anchors? What gives you that sense of stability and strength? Whether it's faith or family, a personal philosophy, whatever it is, keep exploring those ideas. And we'll be back next time with another deep dive. Until then, take care.
See ya.